All right, so today we're diving into this world where AI is really like shaking things up for developers
Yeah.
big time, and we're gonna explore this AI-powered software suite called Little Shark,
Okay.
and it's offline too, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think the name itself is pretty catchy, right?
Yeah.
It kind of makes you think of like a powerful force, but in like a limited space.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how they actually use that analogy.
For sure.
So what we'll be looking at is like how Little Shark fits into, the bigger picture of software development,
Mhm.
right? And the creators are calling it a new methodology even.
Yeah.
They call it SWAT, which is short for Skilled with Advanced Tools.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm interested to see how that kind of stacks up against like more established approaches like,
Right.
Agile or Waterfall.
Right.
One of the things we came across really like hits hard on, the impact of AI on the job market.
Yep.
And it specifically talks about developers. It says that as AI is almost taking over, developers and programmers who aren't better than it are constantly losing their jobs.
Whoa.
It paints a pretty intense picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And it definitely underscores why something like Little Shark is attracting attention right now.
Right.
What I find interesting is this idea that rather than being replaced by AI developers, can use tools like this
Right.
to enhance their skills and kind of stay ahead of the curve.
And here's the thing, Little Shark works completely offline.
Wow.
So all this AI power without your data constantly going to the cloud.
Yeah, that's huge these days.
It's a big win for privacy and security, but how does that even work? How do you get like the benefits of AI without, a constant internet connection?
Yeah, that's a great question. It really challenges like our assumptions about how AI tools work.
Yeah.
The offline nature of Little Shark suggests maybe like a different kind of architecture, a different approach to development.
Mm-hmm.
It also raises questions about the potential limitations.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like, how do they keep the AI models updated?
Right.
Without relying on cloud connectivity,
Mm-hmm.
things like that.
And they talk about Little Shark's ability to make a developer's time elastic.
Interesting.
They even say it achieves what the science of counting time can in no way explain.
Okay, now that sounds almost too good to be true.
Right.
What are your thoughts on this whole elastic time concept?
Yeah, I don't know. It definitely grabs your attention.
It does.
But I think what they're getting at is like, Little Shark can seriously boost developer productivity.
Okay.
Imagine being able to handle these complex calculations like effortlessly,
Yeah.
or build these intricate projects with, just a fraction of the steps usually required.
Right.
That's got to be a compelling proposition for, just about any developer.
It is.
So to do all this, Little Shark is built on three main components:
Okay.
time additive, creator's arm, and smart support.
All right, let's break those down.
Yeah, let's break down each one and see what they offer.
Mhm.
Time additive kind of sounds like it's all about like adding time back into a developer's day.
Right.
Yeah.
It seems like that's the premise, at least.
Yeah.
The interesting question is, how does it actually accomplish this?
Right.
Is it through automation? Is it through improved code generation? Smarter debugging tools?
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's dig deeper and see how these time additive tools actually work.
They mention a step calculator,
Okay.
which sounds kind of intriguing.
Yeah, what is...
Can you shed some light on what that tool does and how it might actually save developers time?
Well, it seems like the step calculator is kind of a specialized tool for handling these complex calculations,
Okay.
especially those involving loops and iterations.
Mhm.
It claims to be able to calculate all possible loops from any two numbers you input
Wow.
without repeating combinations in reverse order.
Okay.
And if it lives up to that claim,
Mm.
it could save developers a ton of time
Yeah.
and mental energy, for sure.
Speaking from personal experience, I know how much time can be wasted wrestling with HTML tags. Oh,
And debugging syntax errors.
Totally.
It sounds like the Flash HTML editor in Little Shark wants to address those pain points.
Okay.
How does it actually assist with those tasks, and how effective is it compared to other HTML editors out there?
Well, the Flash HTML editor boasts AI-powered assistance for tasks like closing tags,
Hmm.
automatic indentation,
Okay.
and real-time syntax debugging.
Nice.
It's designed to basically streamline the whole process of writing and debugging HTML code.
Right.
What I'd be curious to know is how well this AI assistance integrates into a developer's workflow.
Yeah.
Is it actually intuitive and helpful,
Right.
or does it create more distractions than it solves?
Good question.
Yeah.
Then we have the HTML builder,
Okay.
which focuses on simplifying the process of adding basic HTML elements to web pages.
Got it.
This seems like a tool that's geared towards maybe beginners or those who want to build simple websites quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on the balance between simplicity and functionality in a tool like this? It's a good point. While a simplified approach might be appealing for certain tasks,
Yeah.
it's important to consider how it handles more complex scenarios.
Right.
Does the HTML builder offer enough flexibility
Mm-hmm.
for developers who need to create, more intricate web pages?
Yeah.
Or does it become limiting after a certain point?
Right.
That's a key question to explore.
And for developers building Chrome extensions, there's the Chrome Extension Builder.
Okay.
It claims to offer a user-friendly interface for combining scripts and styles.
Makes sense.
But what sets it apart from other Chrome extension development tools out there?
Right.
Is it actually easier to use?
Yeah.
Or is it just another way to accomplish the same tasks?
The ease of use claim is definitely something to investigate.
Yeah.
A lot of extension development tools can be quite complex
Right.
and require a steep learning curve.
For sure.
If the Chrome Extension Builder can genuinely simplify the process without sacrificing functionality,
Yeah.
that could be a significant advantage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We've got 2 more tools to explore within Time Additive.
Okay.
HTML Form Builder and CRUD Generator.
Right.
Let's start with HTML Form Builder.
Oh.
How does it approach the task of creating online forms, and what level of customization does it offer?
So HTML Form Builder seems to focus on streamlining the creation of online forms,
Okay.
which can be surprisingly time-consuming.
Right.
What I'm interested in is the level of control it provides.
Yeah.
Can developers customize the form fields, the layout, and
Right.
validation rules?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it limited to predefined templates?
And CRUD Generator sounds like it could be a real time saver for developers working with data management.
Yeah.
CRUD, of course, stands for Create, Read, Update, Delete,
Right.
essential operations in any, database-driven application.
Absolutely.
How does this tool simplify the creation of CRUD operations, and for what types of projects is it most suitable?
So the CRUD generator aims to automate the process of creating CRUD components, which are often repetitive and time-consuming to code manually.
Right.
It's particularly relevant for management information systems, or MIS, where data management is a core function.
Right.
The key question is how effectively it handles different database structures and data types.
Yeah.
Does it provide enough flexibility for complex scenarios, or is it limited to simple use cases?
Good question.
Yeah.
So we've seen how Time Additive aims to boost developer productivity.
Right.
Let's move on to Creator's Arm.
Okay.
It's described as this toolbox for crafting website elements
Right.
with a focus on visual design. It mentions AI-powered tools, including text editors, and something called option-oriented programming tools.
Oh, that's interesting.
So first of all, what exactly is option-oriented programming, and how does it differ from traditional coding approaches?
Option-oriented programming is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
It suggests a more visual and interactive approach to development, potentially shifting away from writing lines of code
Right.
and towards manipulating visual elements and settings. I'm curious to see how this translates into practical tools
Right.
and whether it offers any tangible benefits over traditional coding methods.
Yeah, good question.
For sure.
Let's dive into some of the specific tools within Creator's Arm,
Okay,
starting with the HTML list builder.
got it.
How does it simplify the creation of lists, and what are the practical applications of this tool?
So the HTML list builder appears to automate the process of creating ordered and unordered lists from text input.
Okay.
It might seem like a minor feature,
Right.
but it can be a real time saver
Yeah.
when you need to generate lists from large amounts of text data.
Okay.
I'd be interested to see how it handles different list formatting options and whether it integrates well with other HTML editing tools.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Next up is the code editor. Is this just like another run-of-the-mill text editor, or does it offer any unique features specifically for developers?
Right.
What are its strengths and weaknesses compared to other popular code editors out there?
It's worth exploring what distinguishes the code editor from all those other text editors available, right?
Right.
Does it offer advanced features like syntax highlighting, code completion,
Yeah.
or debugging tools? Or is it focused on simplicity and speed,
Okay.
aiming to be a lightweight and distraction-free coding environment?
All right. Now this is where things get interesting.
Okay.
We encounter the Nuts Writer for working with the Nuts programming language.
Nuts. Okay.
It's described as a structured text editor for building programs in this language.
Right.
So first of all, what is Nuts?
Yeah. What is...
And why should a developer care about it?
That's a key question.
Yeah.
The fact that Little Shark includes a dedicated editor for this language
Right.
suggests it plays a significant role in their ecosystem. We need to understand what Nuts is, its strengths and limitations,
You're right.
and why a developer might choose to use it over more established programming languages.
Right.
Is it designed for specific tasks or domains?
Yeah.
Does it offer performance advantages or unique features? These are all things we need to consider.
And then there's the EmpNuts writer for the EmpNuts language.
Nuts.
Is EmpNuts related to nuts in any way, or is it a completely separate language?
Right.
What's the story behind these languages, and what niche do they fill in the development landscape?
The naming suggests a connection,
Yeah.
but we need to clarify the relationship between these two languages.
Right.
Are they built on similar principles? Do they share syntax or libraries?
Okay.
Understanding their similarities and differences will help us assess their relevance and potential use cases.
Moving on, we have the HTML drop-down builder.
Right.
It seems pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
It helps you create drop-down lists for websites. But is there anything innovative or unique about this tool compared to other ways of creating drop-down menus?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Drop-down menus are a common website element,
Yeah.
and there are plenty of ways to create them.
Yeah.
What we need to determine is whether the HTML drop-down builder offers any advantages over existing methods.
Right.
Does it simplify the process? Does it provide more customization options?
Yeah.
Or is it essentially just a more convenient way to achieve the same result?
Then there's the web page blogger, which seems like a specialized tool for those who use the blogger.com platform.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on how it works and what benefits it offers to bloggers who use HTML in their posts?
So the web page blogger appears to facilitate the process of uploading HTML content to blogger.com.
Okay.
It sounds like it converts HTML files into a format suitable for Blogger and potentially streamlines the import process.
Right.
This could be beneficial for bloggers who prefer to create their content using external HTML editors or who want to leverage, pre-existing HTML code.
Right.
However, we need to understand the specifics of how it works
Yeah.
and whether it offers advantages over Blogger's native HTML editing capabilities.
Good point.
Yeah.
Next on the list is the HTML navbar builder.
Okay.
Navigation bars are like a crucial part of any website,
For sure.
and creating responsive ones that adapt to different screen sizes can be a challenge.
Absolutely.
How does the HTML navbar builder approach this? And what level of control does it provide over the design and functionality of the navbar?
Creating responsive navigation bars that work seamlessly across devices is a common pain point for web developers.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be interesting to see how the HTML navbar builder addresses this.
Yeah.
Does it offer pre-built responsive templates? Does it allow for custom CSS styling?
Right.
Understanding its capabilities and limitations will help us assess its value for developers.
We're almost done with the tools in Creator's Arm.
Okay.
Tell me about the button generator.
Right.
What makes it different from simply writing HTML code for a button? Does it offer any visual design features or pre-built button styles?
That's a good question. Button creation can be a surprisingly time-consuming task,
Yeah.
especially when you need to create buttons with specific styles and functionalities.
For sure.
If the button generator simplifies this process
Yeah.
and offers a range of customization options,
Right.
it can be a valuable tool.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Finally, we have the web page merger.
Okay.
It sounds like it combines multiple HTML files into a single file.
Right.
What are some practical use cases for this tool, and what are its limitations? Could it be used to merge entire websites, or is it more suitable for smaller scale projects?
The web page merger could be useful for various tasks,
Okay.
such as combining sections of a website,
Right.
merging externally created web pages, or creating a single HTML file from a collection of templates.
Okay.
It's important to understand its capabilities and limitations.
Right.
Can it handle complex HTML structures? Does it preserve the functionality of the merged pages?
Okay.
These are things we need to consider.
So we've explored time additive and Creator's Arm. Let's wrap up this part by discussing smart support.
Right.
What's the focus of this component,
Yeah.
and what types of tools does it offer?
Smart support seems to focus on code optimization and format conversion
Okay.
tasks that are often essential,
Yeah.
but not always the most exciting part of development.
Right.
I'm interested to see what specific tools they include in this category and how effective they are at improving code efficiency and maintainability.
Right.
Let's dive in and see what Smart Support is all about. So Smart Support is where Little Shark tackles those often overlooked aspects of development,
Yeah.
like optimizing code and converting between formats.
Right.
These might not be the most glamorous tasks, but they're essential for creating efficient and maintainable websites.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's start with the CSS minifier. This tool claims to compress CSS code without affecting its functionality.
All right.
How does it achieve this, and what are the real-world benefits for developers?
I'm curious about the trade-offs involved in code minification.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, smaller files mean faster loading times.
Right.
But doesn't that also make the code harder to read and debug?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Is there a risk of losing some of the structure and comments that help developers understand and maintain the code base?
Those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
Striking a balance between code efficiency and readability is always a challenge.
Right.
It would be interesting to see how the CSS minifier addresses this.
Yeah.
Does it offer options for controlling the level of minification?
Mm-hmm.
Does it preserve essential comments or provide a way to map the minified code back to the original source?
Right.
These features could help mitigate some of the potential drawbacks.
We also have the JS minifier for JavaScript
Yeah.
and the HTML minifier for HTML.
Okay.
Do these tools operate on the same principles as the CSS minifier? Mm-hmm.
And what are the specific considerations for minifying these different types of code?
While the fundamental principle of removing unnecessary characters and whitespace remains the same,
Oh.
each code type has its nuances.
Okay.
JavaScript minification, for example, might involve more complex transformations, like renaming variables and functions to shorten their length.
Okay.
HTML minification might need to be more careful about preserving the structure of the document
Right.
to avoid breaking the layout.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's worth exploring how Little Shark handles these specific challenges.
So we've got tools for minifying CSS, JavaScript, and HTML.
Right.
It sounds like Little Shark is aiming for a comprehensive approach to code optimization.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's move on to some of the format conversion tools.
Right.
The CSV to HTML table converter caught my eye.
Okay.
How does this tool bridge the gap between spreadsheet data and web page presentation?
So the CSV to HTML table converter tackles the common task of displaying data from spreadsheets on websites.
It's interesting to consider how it handles different aspects of table creation.
Okay.
Does it allow for customization of table styles?
Right.
Can you control the layout and formatting of the data?
Mm-hmm.
Does it handle large data sets efficiently?
Yeah.
These are all important factors to evaluate.
And then there's the CSV to SQL query converter,
Oh.
which seems geared towards database management.
Right.
How does this tool simplify the process of importing data from spreadsheets into databases? And for what types of projects or workflows would this be most beneficial?
This tool could be a real time saver for developers who frequently work with data imports.
Okay.
It's particularly relevant for projects that involve integrating data from external sources into a database.
Right.
I'm curious to see how it handles different data types and database formats.
Yeah.
Does it support various SQL dialects?
Mm-hmm.
Can it detect and handle data inconsistencies or errors during the conversion process?
Okay.
These capabilities would make it a more robust and reliable tool.
The last tool in the Smart Support category is the HTML comments remover.
All right.
Why would a developer want to remove comments from their HTML code? Especially since comments are often helpful for documentation and collaboration.
While comments are valuable during development,
Right.
they can add unnecessary bloat to the final HTML file,
Okay.
especially for large websites.
Yeah.
Removing comments can lead to smaller file sizes
Right.
and potentially faster loading times.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's important to consider the potential trade-offs.
Yeah, like what?
Does the HTML comments remover offer options for selectively preserving certain types of comments?
Okay.
For example, comments that are used for generating documentation or for license information
Right.
might be important to keep.
We've covered the three main building blocks of Little Shark, time additive, creator's arm, and smart support.
Right.
It's quite an array of tools.
It is.
And it's clear that Little Shark aims to be a comprehensive solution for developers. But how does someone actually get their hands on this software? Is it freely available, or is there a cost involved?
Little Shark is available for download on the developer's website.
Okay.
However, it's not entirely free.
All right.
You'll need an activation key to unlock the full functionality.
Okay.
This raises some questions about the pricing model.
Yeah, like what?
Is it a one-time purchase?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a subscription option?
Right.
How does the pricing compare to other similar development tools on the market?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's not a completely open source project.
Right.
How do you obtain an activation key?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to contact the developer directly,
Okay.
or are there other ways to acquire one?
You can purchase an activation key directly from the developer
Okay.
or explore options for becoming a reseller.
Oh, interesting.
This reselling model is quite interesting.
Yeah.
It suggests the developer is encouraging a community-driven approach to distribution.
Mm-hmm.
It would be worth delving into the specifics of this reselling model.
Okay.
What are the benefits and drawbacks for both the developer and the resellers?
You mentioned reselling Little Shark.
Right.
Can you elaborate on how that works?
Mm-hmm.
What are the requirements for becoming a reseller, and what kind of financial arrangements are involved? Is there any training or support provided to resellers?
The reselling model seems to involve purchasing a batch of activation keys
Mm-hmm.
at a discounted price
Okay.
and then selling those keys to individual customers.
Right.
This could be an opportunity for developers or entrepreneurs
Mm-hmm.
who want to build a business around Little Shark.
Okay.
It would be helpful to understand the details of this arrangement,
Yeah.
such as the discount structure,
Mm-hmm.
the marketing support provided,
Right.
and the potential for profit.
What if a developer has specific needs that aren't fully met by the standard version of Little Shark?
Mm-hmm.
For example, what if they need a tool that's not included in the suite?
Oh.
Or they want to customize the existing tools to better fit their workflow? Does Little Shark offer any options for customization?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The developer encourages customization and even offers to create custom versions of Little Shark,
Wow.
tailored to specific needs.
Okay.
This level of flexibility is impressive.
It is.
It suggests the developer is committed to meeting the diverse needs of the developer community.
So you can actually request modifications or additions to Little Shark. Can you give us some examples of the types of customizations that are possible?
You can request to exclude or add specific tools,
Okay.
modify the user interface,
Mm-hmm.
or even create entirely new tools based on your requirements.
Wow.
This opens up a world of possibilities.
Yeah.
Imagine being able to shape Little Shark to perfectly match your development style and project needs.
Right.
That's a powerful proposition.
The fact that the developer is open to creating custom versions of the software raises the question of control and ownership.
Right.
If I commission a custom version of Little Shark,
Mm-hmm.
do I own the rights to that version, or does the original developer retain ownership?
That's a crucial point to clarify.
Yeah.
It would be essential to understand the terms and conditions surrounding custom development.
Right.
Who owns the intellectual property?
Mm-hmm.
What are the licensing agreements?
Right.
These are all important considerations for anyone looking to invest in a custom version of Little Shark.
We've talked a lot about the technical capabilities of Little Shark and how to acquire and customize it.
Right.
But let's shift gears and discuss the bigger picture.
Right.
The creators of Little Shark are positioning it as part of a new methodology called SWAT, or Skilled with Advanced Tools.
Okay.
What exactly is SWAT, and how does it differ from other software development methodologies like Agile or Waterfall?
SWAT seems to emphasize empowering individual developers with advanced tools
Okay.
to enhance their skills and productivity.
Right.
It's a fascinating concept that challenges traditional notions of software development. Let's explore the principles behind SWAT
Mm-hmm.
and how it might impact the future of software development.
So it sounds like SWAT is less about these rigid processes and more about equipping developers with the right tools,
Yeah.
particularly AI-powered ones, to excel in their craft.
That seems to be the core idea.
Yeah.
It's a shift in focus from managing projects to empowering individuals.
Okay.
Traditional methodologies like Agile and Waterfall emphasize structured teamwork and iterative development.
Right.
SWAT, on the other hand, seems to prioritize individual skill and the ability to leverage advanced tools effectively.
It's almost like SWAT is acknowledging that the role of a developer is evolving in the face of AI.
Okay.
Instead of trying to compete with AI, developers can embrace these tools to become even more capable and efficient.
Yeah,
It's a more collaborative approach, wouldn't you say?
definitely.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that AI isn't necessarily a replacement for developers, but rather a powerful ally.
Right.
The key is to develop the skills to harness this power effectively. That's where the skilled part of SWAT comes in.
This brings us back to Little Shark. It's not just a collection of tools, but a potential embodiment of this SWOT methodology.
Right.
It provides developers with a suite of AI-powered tools that they can use offline,
Yeah,
giving them more control and flexibility in their workflow.
exactly.
Yeah,
Little Shark seems to be at the forefront of this shift towards AI-assisted development.
right.
It's an interesting case study to see how this approach plays out in practice.
Yeah,
The offline aspect is particularly intriguing.
it
It
is.
challenges the assumption that AI tools need to be constantly connected to the cloud.
It also raises questions about how Little Shark keeps its AI models up to date and relevant.
Right.
Do they offer regular updates?
Yeah.
Is there a way for users to contribute to the development of these models?
Those are great questions.
Yeah.
The offline nature of Little Shark necessitates a different approach to model training and maintenance. It would be interesting to learn more about their process and how they ensure the tools remain effective over time.
And if we take a step back and look at the broader landscape of AI and software development,
Right.
where do you see SWOT fitting in?
Yeah.
Is it a niche approach or could it become a mainstream methodology?
It's too early to say definitively,
Yeah.
but I think SWOT represents a significant trend in the industry.
Okay.
As AI tools become more sophisticated and accessible,
Mm-hmm.
we're likely to see a greater emphasis on individual skill augmentation.
Okay.
Methodologies that embrace this shift will
Mhm.
likely gain traction.
It's an exciting time to be a developer.
It is.
There are challenges, of course,
Yeah.
but also incredible opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tools like Little Shark and methodologies like SWOT are paving the way for a new era of software development, one where AI plays a crucial role in empowering developers to achieve more than ever before.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's a dynamic field that's constantly evolving. It will be fascinating to see how these trends continue to shape the future of software development.
Now, for our listeners who are eager to explore Little Shark further, where can they find more information?
Okay.
I understand the developer has a website and a blog, right?
Yes, the developer's website is a great resource for learning more about Little Shark and downloading the software.
Okay.
The blog provides insights into the development process, updates on new features,
Right.
and discussions about the SWOT methodology.
Okay.
It's a valuable resource for anyone interested in this approach to software development.
We'll be sure to include those links in our show notes.
Right.
But before we wrap up, I'd like to touch on one more aspect of Little Shark that caught my attention.
Okay.
They use this intriguing analogy of a shark in a pond to describe its potential.
Right.
What do you think they're trying to convey with this analogy?
It's a powerful image that evokes a sense of both power and constraint.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to the idea that developers, even with their skills and knowledge, can sometimes feel limited by the tools and resources available to them. Little Shark, with its offline AI capabilities and focus on individual empowerment,
Right.
is presented as a way to break free from those limitations.
Okay.
It's about unleashing the full potential of the developer,
Yeah.
allowing them to navigate the complex world of software development with the agility and power of a shark.
So it's not just about the tools themselves,
Right.
but about the mindset shift that Little Shark represents.
Mhm.
It's about embracing AI as a partner and using it to push the boundaries of what's possible in software development.
Yeah.
That's a compelling message.
It is.
And it will be interesting to see how this vision unfolds as Little Shark continues to evolve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an invitation to rethink our approach to software development and to embrace the potential of AI to transform the way we work.
This deep dive has certainly given us a lot to think about.
It has.
From the specific tools and features of Little Shark to the broader implications of the SWOT methodology, we've explored a fascinating corner of the software development world.
We have.
I'm curious to see what our listeners take away from this discussion and how they might integrate these ideas into their own work.
I'm sure they'll have plenty to ponder.
Yeah,
The convergence of AI and software development is a rapidly evolving landscape,
for sure.
and tools like Little Shark are just the beginning.
Right.
It's an exciting time to be involved in this field,
It is.
and I encourage everyone to stay curious and explore the possibilities.
Well said.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Little Shark and the SWOT methodology.
All right, sounds good.
We hope you found it insightful and thought-provoking.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.